Hello, this is Alba Gomez and welcome to Amplify the podcast. I am incredibly passionate about helping men and women amplify who they are and how they show up in the world. Let's have a conversation about how you can amplify your confidence and presence so you get the results you want in your business and career. Welcome to episode number 10 of Amplify, How to Deal with Impostor Syndrome. I think most of us have at one point or another in our lives experienced imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome, for those of you that are not very familiar with the name, is when we doubt our abilities and we feel like we are a fraud, that we are not as good as people are thinking we are, and that we are going to be found out at how bad we are at what we're doing. Really famous people that we can all kind of relate to, like Charlize Theron, Viola Davis, Michelle Obama, and J.Lo have been very public about experiences this feeling. And the reason I share this is because I want you to really relate to the fact that doesn't really matter how successful other people can be, they have experienced it, and even today they experience it. So it's a very human emotion, unfortunately mostly experienced by women. I think in this case we have to learn from men who are not so good at second guessing themselves. So it doesn't really matter what is your background, what is your age, what is your level of experience or your level of success, you can experience imposter syndrome. And the key here is to understand that it's a normal feeling and not let it paralyze you. I shared at the beginning of this podcast how imposter syndrome held me back for almost 3 years. And it wasn't until I decided that I was going to take the leap into doing this, I wasn't able to beat it up. I am not doing the podcast thinking that I am getting it right. I have listened to a few of the episodes. I speak a little bit too fast. I wish I had said something. I wish I had not said something. Yet, I am incredibly happy that I was brave enough to make a choice doing something knowing that I didn't have to get it right. That my mission in this life is to share what I truly believe in and inspire others to amplify who they are. And if I get stuck getting it right or waiting to get it right, I'm going to be stuck in that level of perfectionism. And we spoke about that in the second episode when we spoke about trying to be perfect. So if that is one of the things that get a hold of you, just go back and listen to episode number 2 when we spoke a little bit more about trying to get it perfect. So imposter syndrome can appear in many different ways. I've heard it in many different situations. It can be when you don't put your hand up at a meeting to give an opinion, when you don't put out yourself, this is a very common one, in social media, because you're really scared that if you post go on a video or on a post, it's going to be there forever on the internet to be seen. And people are going to find out that you are not as good as they thought, or that what you wrote or said was really silly. It can look as bad as saying no to opportunities when they show up. I have had so many clients who have confessed they have been offered promotions and they have said no, they don't feel ready. And actually, a study made by Harvard University across different industries, interviewing managers, brought the results that the reason why they were not promoting their female staff was because even though they have many capable women at the job, they found out they didn't have the confidence for the role. So this is really a hard reminder that sometimes it's just us waiting to have all the ducks in a row to put our hand up to say yes. And my invitation today is that feeling this is normal. We all experience it because your brain does not like change. Every time you're going to start doing something different to what you're doing now, even though where you are stuck at now or where you are at now is not as good as what can come out of that change, your brain makes an interpretation that change is negative always, because the brain is lazy, does not like change. Alarm systems start going off in the whole body, and sabotage comes to the rescue to keep you stuck where you are. So the fear of wanting to change whatever you're doing to do it differently is normal. We want to stay in the comfort zone. So it's our job to remember that your brain is only trying to protect you. But that's when you need to use your willpower to remind your brain that that comfort zone is not where you want to stay, and that you can put your hand up because you can figure it out later. You don't need to be 100% sure that you're going to be able to do it, because you will figure it out. You, with a friend, with an advisor, with a coach, with somebody, you will work it out. So it's about getting in the habit of putting your hand up for the new relationship, for the new job, for the new position, for the new project, to start being visible, to posting on social media without expecting to have a standing ovation with everything that you do. Just making a decision that, and realizing that when you put your hand up and you beat the imposter syndrome, you're just going to start showing up. You're going to start doing things that are more in alignment with who you are. You're going to be able to get better use of your gifts, that you don't have to stay stuck where you are today, letting your brain take control of the process of keeping you in your comfort zone, because you're going to stay small. And that is the risk that I see, the biggest risk of living and live life, a small life. When you don't take risks, when you don't try and see what is outside of what that place that where you are stuck, because you are scared of getting it wrong. And if we stay there waiting to get confident, to say yes, or to feel 100%, the opposite of imposter syndrome, I would say probably is 100% confidence, you're going to stay there for a long, long time. So it's us knowing and getting in the habit of saying, yes, doesn't matter, and you will work it out later. Not waiting to feel confident to stand up and say yes to opportunities, but jumping. Knowing that if you make a mistake, nothing happens. So what? If you make a mistake, so what? If you get it wrong, so what? The only permanent mistake, the only permanent thing that can happen to us that we cannot come back from is death. So really, this is about allowing yourself to take risks. And let me tell you one thing, and that's what I love the work I do with personal branding and amplifying people and helping them step up into their confidence and their ability to become visible, is because I am 100% sure you do not need more qualifications. You do not need to take another course. You do not need to learn another concept. All you need to do is show up and be visible and taking the risks, believing that what you know and what you have to offer and your opinion and your voice are valid and are enough. So I have a really good friend at the moment who is going for her next level in her career, and she's going for this new job. And she's incredible. She's intelligent. She's got incredible communication skills. And yeah, she will be incredibly good at whatever she goes for next. And I've had to listen to her complaining and doubting herself for months. And it's really in her head, just that fear of leaving the place she's at now, even though she's not happy and fulfilled there anymore, because she's scared of what is out there. And I've been reminding her consistency that fear is normal. All you have to do is take the next step, because I am 100% sure that once she takes that leap and go to a next opportunity, she's going to be extremely happy, wondering why did she take so long taking that leap. And I have seen it over and over again with my clients when they actually start showing up with more bravery. I think it's about that. It's about having the bravery of just showing up without the fear of the consequences, not disrespecting other people or not going any other people, but just taking risks for them when they might not get it right, when they might need to go and study something if they need to, when they can just get some advice, when they realize that you don't have to know it all, that you can figure it out because you're an intelligent person, because there's internet available to us, and because there's incredible amount of people around you that you can probably tap into the knowledge to really learn the things. I truly believe that is that confidence that beats that imposter syndrome, and the decision that you're going to start taking risks, that you're going to start doing things differently, because otherwise you can stay there where you are today, stuck, doing the same, being comfortable, but being unfulfilled. And the flip side to that is taking risks, doing things differently, and achieving amazing things. I share with you guys how when I came to Australia, I couldn't speak English. And then the only way I could get myself out there working as an engineer was by learning English and launching myself into a new culture and new companies and doing the interviews. I was freaking out. Then I decided to start my business. I did not have a clue how to even do business. Not in Colombia, less in Australia, but bit by bit, I work it out, and I make mistakes, many of them, but bit by bit, I have learned. And the woman I am today is the result of that woman that made those mistakes, is the result of the woman that learned so much by following her passion. And many times, even today, I have kept myself small, but it's something that I keep top of mind when I always say, I'm not going to stay small. I'm going to go for that next level because I want to grow, because I want to learn, because I want to become that best version of me who learns continuously. Then she can share better things with others, because that is my passion. That's what drives me. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Really being able to share with you all the things that I have learned for myself. So it is all about making sure that people that you see out there doing incredible things, they feel imposter syndrome, but they made a decision to take the risk. And that all about you have to decide is that you don't need to get it right. You just need to start taking little steps. And as when we are born, we crawl before we walk, and we walk before we run. That's how we need to approach life. If at 6 months old, we were too worried about being an imposter because we couldn't walk and we stopped crawling, we would never go to walk or run. So it is all about taking little steps. So for the practical side of the episode today, I want you to really identify one area in which imposter syndrome is driving what you're doing and the action you're taking day to day. And then write out 1 to 3 tiny little steps that you can start taking today to get you into action. Remember, I don't want you to go from being born to running. We're going to take tiny steps as to crawling. Is it doing 1 post a month? Is it then speaking out and saying yes in a meeting? Is it putting your hand up and saying, I'll do that report? Is it calling a person you've been delaying or just avoiding to do? Whatever it is it going for a 5-minute walk? Is it just eating a salad instead of none? Like tiny little steps. So list 1 to 3 activities, and I want you to stick to doing this activity once a day for the next 7 days. And I can assure that once you start taking those little tiny calculated risks and you decide to do things differently, you're going to start getting a completely level of confidence, because confidence is one of my best favorite definitions. Is confidence is you doing what you said you were going to do. So you set the goal and you go and do it, your confidence increases, and your ability to beat the imposter syndromes becomes imminent. And in no time, if you persist taking those little actions, you're going to wonder what were you so worried about. So I really hope you go and implement this, and I wish you a fantastic week. I'll see you at the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Amplify. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. Also, I will love it if you leave us a review. See you for the next episode. Bye-bye.